Thank you. Family, friends, faculty members, people with a lot of student debt. When I told my family that I had been given the privilege of delivering the commencement speech, I was given two pieces of advice. The first piece of advice came from my best friend, who also happens to be my sister, and she told me not to cry on stage. If you've ever watched The Price is Right with me, you know that I'm a crier. When there is a little bitty blue-haired granny in the Showcase Showdown winning herself a pair of jet skis and a dream trip to New Zealand, I lose it. That being said, I made no such promises. The second piece of advice came from my 64-year-old mother. She told me not to use the F word. Again, I made no such promise. Today is a big day for us because it's a defining day. Today we are claiming the title of graduate. We earned this. We sat through lectures, took pages of notes, highlighted very overpriced textbooks, crammed for exams, completed practicals, wrote papers, cried a few tears, possibly cursed once or twice. Being here today and getting to wear this ugly hat and oversized blue bathrobe is proof that we survived all that. To some extent, we did know what lessons to expect when we entered the double doors of the Brown Mackie campus. But there was more to college than classroom lessons. Life lessons were learned as well. Here's what we really learned at Brown Mackie. Lesson 1. It is completely acceptable to take candy from strangers and even encouraged, especially if that candy is in the form of a bake sale in the student lounge. Lesson number 2, if you're going to school for a medical degree, you should eat your bake sale items before leaving the student lounge because you never know when it's going to be the day to watch the video of a real human dissection in class. To this day, I cannot look at Twizzlers. College algebra. Nobody likes college algebra, except for maybe the instructor, and I'm rather convinced that's because she had the book with all the answers. I'm still waiting to hear back from any classmate who has encountered a job application requiring them to solve for X. Procrastination. It's not just an action, it's a sport. A full-body contact sport, complete with multiple trips to the bathroom, some Facebook stalking, text message tagbacks, excessive coffee consumption, multiple groans, the occasional head pound or face palm, along with the resolution to never, ever play the procrastination game again. Sure enough, though, when next month rolls around, we are back in the game. We learned some new terminology in college, and not just from textbooks. And while this term might not be included in Webster's latest edition, hangry is very much a real thing. Yes, hangry, the state of being so hungry that your lack of food causes you to become angry, frustrated, or both. Hangry college students tended to be unstable and were best avoided in hallways, bathrooms, and vending machine lines if you valued your personal safety. Yes, we learned a lot in college between orientation and graduation. And as I mentioned earlier, today is a defining day for us. You see, we live in a society of labels, of titles. Gaining the title of graduate feels good because we know that we've earned it. I know that for myself personally and for many of my classmates that I learned with and built relationships with over the past 2 years, graduate holds a deeper meaning. It's special because we get to take that title and use it to replace the title of failure. Did you hear it? The F word. Failure. Many of us struggled to get here. It didn't take long for us to realize that. Being in diverse classrooms of strangers turned into learning alongside friends quickly once we realized how similar our challenges were. Brown Mackie is not your typical college, and most of us were not traditional students. And yes, I know there were a couple of us who were 18-year-olds fresh out of high school, but the majority of my peers were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond. Many of us came to Brown Mackie after attempting life in another light and getting burned, yet we chose to persevere. I would like to leave you with the greatest lesson that I've learned so far in college and life. Maybe success isn't what we've been taught after all. Maybe success isn't owning a home, but rather managing to pay the rent on time each month. Maybe success isn't driving a fancy car, but the willingness to give a ride to somebody in your rusty, beat-up clunker. Maybe success isn't never using welfare, but reaching that day when you no longer have the need to be on it. Maybe success isn't about not falling into addiction, but fighting your way to sobriety, one day at a time. Maybe success isn't a number on a scale, or a size on a tag, or a gender on your birth certificate, but the way that you feel living inside your own skin. Maybe success is not a two-parent home, but a home with a parent too dedicated to her children to let them believe that they are anything less than amazing. Maybe success is not walking across this stage, but making the journey that led us to this day. Maybe success isn't having a degree, but having the courage and the passion to use your talents for the bettering of humanity. Maybe success isn't anything except for what we choose to make of it. Thank you.